Alrighty, well, hey Collegiate, and whoever else stumbles upon this video in our little corner of the interweb. We are here today to talk about Estes Park LT, and joined by the directors of that program, and to hear a little bit about what they're excited about. And yeah, so I'll let them introduce themselves and we will jump in. Carl, how about we start with you?
Sounds good. My name is Carl Frost. I'm on staff at the Revolution in Muncie, Indiana at Ball State. I've been in full-time ministry with Reliant and Collegiate for 18 years. So I'm a couple years away from getting that globe. I don't know, this is probably my 7th, 8th, 9th LT. Yeah, that's me.
I'm Alan Hobley. I'm at Illini Life Christian Fellowship at the University of Illinois. Been on staff for 11 years. And I don't know what LT this is for me either, somewhere plus 6-ish, I don't know. But actually, Carl was my small group coach, my project coach, my first LT. So we go way back in LT world.
Well, that's pretty cool. Now you guys are directing this summer, and you guys have embraced the summer vibes with the tank tops, the Hawaiian shirt, and the poolside views.
Yeah, it's like 45 degrees out in Muncie, but once like it hit April 15th, I'm like, it's time to embrace the summer.
Absolutely.
And it's mental mainly. Like most temperature, when people are too cold, too hot, it's typically mental. So yeah, I'm here. This is why I work all day, just out by the pool. Yeah, it's nice.
Getting that summer tan for the
yeah,
mountains.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. Well, when you guys look forward to the summer, kind of a two-part question. What are you guys looking forward to LT personally? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that, but also just as directors. I'm sure those are kind of a little mixed together, but would love to hear your thoughts on those questions.
Well, I personally, I just like Colorado, like being in the mountains. It seems cheesy. It feels like we're up, of course, but like it's a big perk of directing the program is getting to go out there. So personally, like I think it's gonna be a ton of fun. I've been thinking a lot about this summer. Is like it's not the finish line, but it feels close to a finish line for COVID. Like we still got stuff to do with it. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. But like personally, it feels like I'm really pumped. Plus my kids are a little older. Like I feel like they're gonna enjoy it. Less crying, more adventuring. So personally.
Yeah. Carl, how about you personally?
Personally, I think I love the idea that we're going to be gathering a bunch of staff that haven't been together, and that we're going to be leading a program together. So I think just this idea of gathering, being together, and then kind of for the program, it's really the same thing, gathering a bunch of students who have probably to some degree been isolated. And of course, we're going to be following protocols with that, but there's going to be more opportunities for us to be together, both as staff teams, as students. And gosh, we've missed that. And so I'm excited for that this summer.
Yeah. Alan, do you have any other thoughts from a director role?
Yeah. I love what we do. Like it really is, it feels significant, right? So like if you've been around Collegiate for a while, the name John Draghi comes up and this is our first summer directing this program without him. He didn't start it, but he owned it for a long time. And so there's a lot of values that he brought to the program that I feel like I'm excited to continue on. Particularly like our relationship with the YMCA is just massive. We weren't there last summer, and I think they love us more. I think it shows how much us not being there mattered to them. So as a director, I love.
Sorry, it's kind of like when I go away for a week, and like my wife sees me, and then she's like, "Okay, yeah, I still want to do this."
Yeah,
it's like that.
The absence make the heart grow fonder, right?
Yep. I coined that phrase.
Yeah.
So thank you for quoting that.
You're right.
Okay is the best we can hope for. So.
Yeah.
That's good. So yeah, you mentioned it a little bit, right? It's last year LTs got canceled and things were kind of put on hold, and now we're prepping to do LT in a landscape that's maybe somewhat familiar given what we've navigated this year, but also you're going to a place it's not home, right? You guys don't live out in Estes Park. What's the preparation process been like for you all getting ready for this LT?
I wrote down a few words when I saw that, when you gave us that question, and like, what were they? They're careful, agonizing, belabored, like is the most careful I've ever been about probably anything. As far, at least in ministry, like we've been really thoughtful. I think we've walked through some really thoughtful things with COVID. And it's fun to have like people who are just watching your back, because I'm like, let's just go, let's do it. And there are a lot of good people who have helped us be thoughtful about it. So that's what it's felt like, more careful than any other summer I've been involved in leading.
Yeah, it's all the normal preparation of prayer and planning and strategizing, and then with the added element of how do we walk through this summer safely and wisely in ways that everybody is comfortable in. And again, just working with the why loves us. They want us there, and they want to make it successful. And so it's been, as Alan said, a little agonizing, while at the same time we've been paired up with folks at Reliant and folks at the Y who've just really made it work out well.
Yeah, that makes it sound like there's room for you guys to still bring energy into it too. I've heard from a lot of leaders making decisions this last year that the agony can be a bit of an energy just drain. So it sounds like there's still a lot of energy. Do you guys sense that, like energy building as the summer gets closer?
Absolutely. For me, I think as we kind of began to plan it, honestly, it was a little painstaking. And then now that we have a lot of the things in place, I'm like finally getting excited and looking forward to and counting down the days until we all get to be out there.
Yeah, LT feels, I was thinking about this morning, LT feels like a wind-up toy, where like all the winding up happens and all the work you put into it happens until May 24th this year. And then like, you just let go. We have great, like, I'm excited about our staff. Like, I feel like a lot of our work is on the front end. So I don't know. I feel like I know there's going to be a lot of risk taking. People are taking maybe the first time they've been away from home, or the first time they've been in a group with more people. But I also feel like the opportunities to just get out there and sort of be the church together is really exciting. So
yeah,
that doesn't sound as serious coming from the side of a pool, but
I think it's appropriately juxtaposed. I think that works well. That works well. So, there's a good chunk of collegiate that'll be either out with you all in Estes or out in the Adirondacks, and there's another chunk that'll just be probably in their home spaces. Kind of two-part. What would you want collegiate to know about Estes Park LT for those who will be coming to join you all, but then also those who just might not be in Estes, just they can be praying for you guys?
Your COVID forms, if you haven't done that. That's the first one. I don't know. I mean, it's still like the I don't know, mantra for everybody, but like, be ready to be flexible. I feel like if you're coming out there, like we want to, there's something really, John would say this, there's something really mysterious about what happens at LT. Like when you give a summer set apart from your normal life. And so I think be ready for that. But all the more so, I think, feels a little bit like probably some of us feel like caged animals, and there's a bit of a release happening. So I don't know. I'm full of analogies today.
It's perfect.
Alan, in so many ways, is a caged animal. So that's all I have to add to that question.
Just excited to turn him loose this summer. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's awesome. Yep. That's awesome. Well, what do you guys, I'm curious, do you guys have, is there a theme for the summer that you guys are leading people through? Or what are you excited to see God do? Alan, you mentioned there is the mystery, right? Of you can prep and plan and pray, but then there's a part of, I like the wind-up toy analogy even still, you just turn it loose and see what God might do. But what are some of the things that you guys are maybe hoping and praying to see God do out there?
Yeah, I think it's still kind of being formulated, but the theme we're working with right now is this idea of light. And so God bringing light on us feeling alone, God bringing light to the world, God bringing light to injustice, God bringing light to reconciliation. And so looking at this theme of light is going to kind of be what we're going to be focusing on with all the other normal LT stuff, leadership development, training people on how to share their faith and grow in their walk with the Lord and practice spiritual disciplines and all those types of things. But that's kind of, if there is a word that we're going to use to help give people vision, light is the word for us this summer.
Awesome. And then, nothing to add. And then just with that, the theme, what just hopes of what you're hoping to see this summer?
One of the things I think, Carl, you might have mentioned this, like we haven't had a staff conference. We haven't had any of the things. Like this is the first time we're kind of bringing anything beyond a region together in quite a bit over a year. And so I think some of that relational refreshment is really exciting to me. And then I don't know. I hope the students that come can start to see the movement they're a part of, that they're a part of something bigger. I think it's been so easy to feel like I'm myself, to be spiritually formed by our social media, by the news, and like it's a chance to be together as a church again, across the body, not just our local body, but across the body. So, what do I hope happens? I don't know. No big disasters, no big COVID outbreaks, and God does something cool.
Yeah.
There's probably a better word for this, but I've said this whole year that tweaked, like this year has kind of gotten to all of us in different ways. And so I think of that passage where Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and you will find rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I'm gentle and humble at heart, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And so I think like the mountains are such a good place to rest, to slow down, to see God at work. And then my hope would be that the summer would be restful and recharging for people so that they can then have a vision for what it looks like to be a part of the church in their local context and to be on a mission in those places. But I think many of us are coming off a year where we just need a little bit of rest. And by rest, I don't mean like not doing anything, but by rest, I mean just encountering and being with Jesus, and where we can slow down and do that. And I think Colorado is just such a good place for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've only been out there I visited the Estes Park LT for about 5 days a few years back. And it was just that. There's something about having no cell phone signal up in that park and just being confronted with the beauty of God's creation. It just, you can't help but be recharged in lining up with who he is. And you get to see elk walking across a putt-putt course. And that's a pretty cool thing too. Moving more to just going back to Estes, like, are there things that you guys just personally enjoy about there? Like maybe there's a restaurant or a trail or something about being at the Y that you guys just excited that you've been eager to kind of get back and partake in?
So many places.
Okay.
I think I get to see Estes through my eyes of having all these experiences. There's restaurants, there's places in Estes, there's hikes I love to do, but I get to see them through the eyes of students. So I get to take them and say, "Oh, this is a great hike. Let's do that together." And I get to see it through the eyes of my kids who've been out there. This will be their 4th summer out there. And so they're becoming more familiar with that, and they're getting older. And so I think I love that. I love the newness of trying some new hikes, new restaurants, new places, but I also love the familiarity of like taking people to places that I've already gone, for them to experience it.
Yeah, it feels deeply nostalgic. It feels like home a little bit. Like you start to add the time up, like it's years spent in the Rockies, and so like that drive up the canyon feels kind of sacred. Like the smells, the sights. So I think that's really fun. I mean, totally. Like we could talk a ton about hikes and restaurants, and I'm thankful the Donut House is still there. That's probably pretty big excitement. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the main questions I have for you guys, but just wanted to make space. If there's anything else you guys wanted to share with Collegiate, any degree of prayer request, vision, something funny, something anecdotal, just kind of open it up for you guys to share any parting words.
Lucy, get over here. Sorry, that was my dog. No, I don't have anything. Lucy, stop it. I'll say one thing. What's it? 1 Corinthians 15:58 says, "Stand firm, let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know your labor in the Lord is not in vain." And so if anyone's done ministry for any length of time, you've probably read that verse or thought of that verse. And I would imagine that verse even rings more true, right, in that. And so I think LT is a step in the right direction back to some normalcy, and to remind ourselves that just even the labor we've done over the last year and years have not been in vain.
Good. Thanks, Carl.
Man, Carl, you got like good spiritual exhortations. I was gonna like try to think of something funny. I don't feel like it's appropriate. And it feels like if I'm going to talk about stories of us getting fired from the Y, that's probably like, you got to be at LT with us. But so that's another time maybe.
There you go. There you go. Well, yeah.
I almost got Alan fired from the Y, and he almost got me fired from Reliant. So that's just, we'll just leave that as a teaser.
All right. So yeah, if you want to find out that story, you got to ask about it in Colorado.
Yep.
There you go.
There's still spots if you want to come. If you're just coming upon this.
Yeah. What's the deadline for people to sign up, and then when does LT start? What are the dates?
Well, the deadline was March 15th, but the YMCA is actually, we love the partnership. They're doing really well, they got just hammered last year in their group sales particularly. And so like to come back to like, they want more people, they're having more groups and people come out. And so they've extended the deadline. There's no real like hard deadline that I've heard of at this point, but May 24th through August 8th, those are the dates. You arrive on the 24th, you check in with the Y. Last day work is August 8th. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Carl, you gonna make it over there?
Yeah. Self-edited. I self-edited myself.
That's good. All right. Well, to everybody who's been watching, thanks to Carl and Alan for taking time just to join us from their pools, even though it's a little chilly today. And we look forward to what you guys have in store out at LT, and even what God's got in store for you guys. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later on another collegiate conversation.